All right, hello everybody. It's John Moe, and welcome to the debrief. Still, am trying to get the hang of the 10-second delay on here, but haven't gotten it yet. So I'm talking, but I'm looking at myself on a screen where I haven't begun talking yet. I think it's about to happen. Yeah, there I just started talking. So that's what's going on. That's kind of odd. So thank you to everybody for joining, and hello to you who are watching this later. It is the what is it? Is it the 17th? Everyone always gets astounded by linear time. Oh my gosh, it's the 17th already. How did that happen? Well, it happens sequentially. So this week, something that usually happens with profile episodes of a person, of an individual, happened with a issue related topic. So we call some of our topics issue topics, some profile topics. So often, in fact, every time I do a profile one where I'm talking with Griffin Newman, or I'm talking with Patton Oswalt, I'm talking with Jenny Lawson, um, you kind of discover things about them as you go along. And then after the interview is done and you start to work on it, you start to edit, then it forms a narrative later on. And you say, oh, okay, this is this person's journey. They had this thing happen in childhood, which of course, instigated these behaviors later, and then that led them to this place that they are now. And sometimes it's very, very clear. Sometimes you got to dig for it, but there's always you find a story. So this one happened where I set out to talk about how do you talk about mental health with someone you're worried about. So they're behaving a little strangely. You want to bring it to their attention. You want to say, hey, there's help available. How do you do it? Because that's people ask me that every time I give a speech. And so we reached out. We got sort of a couple very different guests who both had been therapists. One was currently a therapist, Megan Oster Rosen. The other is director of behavioral health at Health Partners and a former therapist, Quanah Walker. One was in Minnesota, one was in Los Angeles, one was Native American, one was white, one was male, one was female. So some contrast. But what quickly happened with both of them was like kind of a therapist response of, well, how do you talk to someone when this is the issue? And it quickly turned around to, well, let's take a step back. How much do you know about this person? How much do you know what they will respond to? How much do you know about yourself and why you want to help them? How much help do you think you can really provide? And it reminded me a little of I used to be an actor, and there's a term for the term is results. Like, if you want, a director shouldn't direct an actor to cry in a particular scene because they're asking for a result. The director should guide that actor's knowledge of what's happening in the scene, and then the truthful thing happens, regardless of whether it's crying or laughing or whatever it is. So that, because that's the real understanding of the scene, and to start with the crying and then work backwards is to probably alter the course of the scene and to make it discordant and untruthful. So that seemed to be their response of like, okay, let's talk about why you want to know about this person, why you're concerned. What do you know about what concerning behavior actually is? And Megan especially brought up the issue of, well, are you talking to this person out of your concern because you really want to get some concern back from them? Are you trying to help them in order to make sense of your own experiences? So it went pretty broad and deep in ways that I didn't expect. It's always a joy to discover. Right now, I'm working on doing a listen back on an edited version of our show for next week with Lisa Hannawalt, creator of Tuca and Birdie. She talks about horses a lot, being a horse person, being a person who drew a horse that became BoJack Horseman, and and then also birds and a bunch of other things. So she was delightful. I was very glad to be on the Maximum Fun Network, where she also has a show. So it's almost just like calling somebody from your own team to come over and join you. We have Jackie Cation coming up, and she's got a show on Max Fun as well. Janet Varney is coming up on the show, and she's got a show as well. So it's been really fun. It was easier probably to get a marketplace host at my old job, but I rarely had occasion to do that. I don't think Kai Risdall really wants to do an interview on this show. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe I should try to book Kai. I don't think so. I've got depression problems. This is Marketplace. I don't think that's going to happen. I find myself, I got laid off from my old employer over a year ago, and I felt really liberated at first, and then I felt really angry, and then I felt really bitter, and then sad, and I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm at the point where I am telling myself it's time to move on. Just let it go. But again, I think that's a result. I think I'm directing myself to the result of just letting it go. But I'm not slamming them on social media platforms. So I don't know, that's healthy, right? So then we have that coming up. We have a really good show coming up about meditation, where essentially the message is meditation is good. You should do it. And you should try to find a way to not be put off by the the brand that it has. One of our guests that we talked to says the problem is whenever you search for the word meditation, if you do an image search, a Google image search on the word meditation, you get, for the most part, an image or an illustration of a white woman in a particular yoga pose with a kind of beatific glow about her. And then people look at that and say, well, I don't look like that. Either I'm not a woman, or I'm not white, or I'm not pretty like that, or I'm not a bunch of things that this person is. She's inevitably in terrific shape in all these photos. And so meditation isn't really for me. And so it's a matter of kind of busting through that a little bit. I like to cover topics in a way that sort of goes at the opposite of the spirit of the topic. So for instance, talking about meditation and trying to make it as non-mystical as possible, trying to make it as practical as possible. We have a show that we're putting together coming up on sex and depression, the impact of mental health on one's sex life. And it's going to be the least sexy show you have ever heard. Because I think it's good to kind of strip away the veneer a little bit on some of those things. So that's what's going on. I'm trying to think if I have other things to announce. I've got some events coming up this fall, but I'm not announcing them just yet. We are doing a big Maximum Fun wide event in the fall where we're showcasing all of our shows, and trying to get a very, very, very big name celebrity for that. If that happens, you'll know all about it. If it doesn't happen, just know that I tried to get a really famous person and that I came close. All right. So I'm out next week. I'm on vacation. I'm delivering a child to a college, and that's going to be an interesting and emotional experience. I'll tell you all about that when I get back and I'm done weeping. So have a good week. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Drink lots of water. Stay safe. Find hope.